Hello, my name is Michael Muldrow. I'm the commissioner with the New York City Police Department, and I am thankful that you all decided to tune in today. We are here as part of the Remember Me project, looking to continue to further this platform, this initiative. I am joined with colleagues, I am joined with community, I am joined with family and our teammates here today, so that we can have a compelling conversation about people that we've lost in this community. And that's the purpose of these episodes, is to continue to come together and provide a platform that allows families to speak on the lives of the individuals that they lost. We want to highlight these cases. We want to spark renewed interest and maybe, just maybe, get individuals that have known about some of these cold cases and had information but didn't feel comfortable quite yet stepping up and providing that information. Maybe we can solicit more information from them, get them to see the individuals that we lost, get them to understand the damage that was done, and that key piece, that little thing that they know may be the difference between whether or not we can bring closure and bring justice for these families and the individuals that we lost. So we're here today. First off, we're here today with Cleo Sahir. She is a mother. She is a community member. She is a longtime friend of mine, and I'm proud to be able to be here in this moment with her as she shares. So, Ms. Cleo, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, obviously, for so many people that'll be watching this show, they're going to look and they're going to see you and they're going to know you like I know you. Mm-hmm. They're going to know the legacy that your family has left behind in this community. And they may also be shocked that you're sitting here for circumstances such as these. So what brings us here today?
So unfortunately, what brings us here today is losing my son, Jamere Cherry. And there's a lot of people who I came across that didn't know. And we're talking about this happening in 2017. Mm-hmm. They couldn't relate the names. Cherry was my married name. So the fact that alone is like, wow, I never thought about that until I was on my way here. And there's people that they know me, they know Cleo, but that was your son? I heard that so much.
Because they know you. They know you as a professional. Yes. They know you as an excellent mother in the community. They know you.
Yeah, just knowing me and your period. And so when I think about that, and I think about the disconnect, yeah. Not saying it should be any different because it's me and what people coming forward to say anything, but people just didn't know that was my son. So I'm hoping this makes the biggest difference of it all.
Thank you for speaking out, for speaking up. Detective Thompson, thank you for being here today. Will you please share a little bit about Jamere's case, about her son's case?
Yeah, so on August 21st, 2017, just after 1 o'clock in the morning, officers responded to 200 block of East Gas Avenue for a reported shooting. When officers arrived on scene, they located a male victim in the middle of the street with an apparent gunshot wound. He was being tended to by his wife at the time. She was attempting to render aid. The victim, who was identified as Jamere Cherry, was transported to York Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. At that point is when the homicide investigation started.
You hear those details, the date, the time, where we lost your son. But can you, for the benefit of the people that are watching this today, I need them to understand that he was so much more than a crime scene. He was so much more than the individual that lied there. Can you tell us more about Jamere?
Well, first I just want to add on to it that we didn't lose him then. He didn't actually go on until September. Jamere was taken to the hospital in ICU. I don't remember the amount of time or anything that's gone. So if it wasn't for the fact that Jamere went into cardiac arrest, and that's how we lost him.
So the hospital, they were actually working for a significant amount of time trying to...
Jamere was...
And he was fighting.
He was fighting. He definitely was fighting. And a lot of times they would, give us... And I know I'm not a medical background, any form or fashion, but if he told them, well, he did this, or he moved his finger, he reacted, to my voice or to his wife's voice. Oh no, that's because of this now. Okay, we just allowed him to say that. But he was doing pretty good. He came out of ICU. He went into another part of the hospital. Wasn't no longer ICU, a different floor. But he went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
And that's where we had to make a decision. So, Jamere, oh my goodness.
Him reacting to your voice is no shocker to me.
Oh, absolutely not. Especially, being the mother and, making sure he's comforted and all that, and telling him, oh my goodness, I was on the phone talking to him when they walked up to him and did that. Yeah. I was like, really? Oh. And the sad part about it all is I wasn't even in this state of Pennsylvania. I was on the phone with my son in Columbus, Ohio, when that happened. We were on the phone talking. He was outside and we were talking. He was a little upset about something and I had to calm him down. And then I had to tell him, okay, he woke me up. You got to go to work. I got to go to work. And to finish having a conversation the way we did, because he's just like me, having to bring him down and say, Jamere, it's okay, it's okay. And look, I need you to go in the house, get ready for work, kiss them kids. And the last words I said to him in his conscious state of mind was, I love you, son. I'll talk to you tomorrow. You can't beat that. And that conversation could have went a whole nother way. So the fact that I know that I was the last person to hear conscious state, that's my joy right there. So I'm like, find that hard to believe, but that conversation could have went a whole different way. Because he was really upset about something. So
I hear in that Jamere was a son. I hear in that Jamere was a working man. I hear in that Jamere was a father. What do you think you miss most?
His voice.
Mm-hmm.
Jamere had one of those voices that were like slow, talking, dragging. And I tell you what, just when I think about that, and I'll say things that I'll say it the way he would say it, it's a ride to me. Still to this day, it's like, I used to rush him to tell me something. Boy, if you don't come on with this story, it was, everyone knew him from his voice and that slow telling the story. It brings happiness to me, happiness to my soul. But Jamere, as a little person, I'm telling you, he was a good kid. He was a good kid. He really was. Jamere was good. I could count on Jamere and his brother to do anything I asked them to do.
Speaking of doing the right thing and being accountable, I'm going to segue that into taking personal accountability as a system, as professionals, as people that are supposed to be caring, the individuals that are charged with getting families closure and the kind of justice for the lives lost, like Jamere's, that mothers are left facing and dealing with. What I want to know what you've seen, what we can do, what we need to do better, what this system can do better to not only handle the cases, but also support the families that are left dealing with these situations. How was your experience?
Unfortunately, my experience with what I thought was going to happen after, it wasn't too good. I felt like I was left out in the cold. I didn't know. There was information that I thought I was going to get, I didn't get. And I know I dare not think my son is any more important than someone else's. Never. We're all equal when it comes to that. A loss is a loss. But I felt that if there was someone who, even if the information was fed to a liaison, to just give me a call, update us, update family, update mom, update dad, whoever was there, just to be the go-between. The detectives doing their thing. I would never, ever intrude in their lane. That's their lane. But if there was a liaison who they could feed the information to, and then the liaison will call me, say, hey, here's what we know now. Here's what we're doing now. Here's where we're at. Here's what we're not there yet. There was no one.
Detective Thompson, understanding that you're a very young man, understanding that you came into this very after the fact. Detective Baez, as the leader, as the commander, as a person responsible, like in a position like I am, how do you feel when you hear mom say that?
Well, let me let Detective Thompson address it on the level of coming in new, refreshed, and then I will touch base on the suggestions and the good comments that Ms. Cleo just made. So let Detective Thompson.
Yeah, so for me, I am a newer investigator. I've been with the department for a little bit of time. And actually, when this happened, I was a very young officer. So when I was given this case, I read through it, and something that resonated with me was you were on the phone, with your son when this happened. So I can't imagine you going through that. So I keep this case file on my desk. It's been there for quite some time, and on the front of that case file is Jamere's picture. So, every day I come to work, I look at Jamere. And I've had the pleasure of talking to you, and, the first time we spoke, you expressed that you were left out in the dark. And I take that personally because it's not fair to you. You should know what's going on with your son's investigation. So even though I didn't know Jamere, this is something that's personal because your son was taken from you. Someone's father was taken from them. So just because I didn't know Jamere, I'm going to investigate this to the best of my ability. I hope this works, and I hope we can generate some leads from this. And there are some things that I can do on my end. And my goal is to give you that communication. You have my phone number. You can call me whenever you need to. And as things hopefully develop, I will be in touch with you because you shouldn't be left in the dark. And I'm sorry that happened to you.
I appreciate that. Thompson. Clearly can.
And on my end, my first meeting with you was via phone. So although I was a detective during the time this happened, wasn't present that day of the incident, I did, of course, develop myself into the investigation. But because it wasn't generally given, it was assigned to a detective, they typically worked it. But now in my role and seeing it after a conversation with you, I promised you that we would do something via the community, and it fell to the wayside, not on the end of we it could happen. It just we never found the time, or the people that we wanted to get involved never did. That was my error, not communicating it more so with you. But I also felt I was doing you an injustice because of the current position I am in, that I wouldn't be able to dedicate the time I know it was going to require. That's why I handed it over to a newer, fresher eyes, um, younger, and has the stamina to really dig into this more so. And going back to the newer high conversation is because we get stuck. Sometimes if I look at this case as an affiant or as an investigator, sometimes I get tunnel vision, and I'm only focusing on what I remember, and I'm putting into play newer developments. And so that's why this was done, and handing it over and having them now give a renew. But I always kept in me the desire to do this platform, to do the best way we know how, to bring it to know I failed, but in my failure, I was able to bring something more, try to think outside the box, to show the community who that loved one was. Hearing it from us, you're just cops. It doesn't really matter. You don't care. And I want them to understand that's furthest from the truth. I can't speak for other agencies. I'm not here to speak for other agencies. I'm here to speak for York City Police. And I know what I've tried to do is instill just that, is to bring in the importance, like Detective Tom just took upon himself, to put Jamere's picture and book on his desk to see that's what we want. A renewed, not stuffing it into a pile and not give it air. It's there.
Because even the change is important. Like I know one detective can look at a case and think there's nothing there, where another detective can look at a case and say, I think this is a direction we haven't quite looked at yet. So thank you so much for that. Tiff, I want to ask you, because we didn't have a role like yours when we lost her son. So when you hear this, you see circumstances like this, you see needs not being met. How does it make you feel?
Sure. Uh, when this incident occurred, I actually was working at York High as a hall monitor. Um, and I remember clearly the first person that popped in my mind was Rodney. He and I had went to school together for years. And so I just remember thinking, like, man, I wish I could do more. But I didn't know what more meant. And being in the position I am in today as uh, the director of this GVI, this three-legged stool, this liaison, it allows me to do more. It allows me to be able to walk in. I literally can go into the detective bureau and come back and look you in your face and say, yes, that is on his desk. I can call them anytime and say, I know that you are working on 4 or 5 cases, but please just give me something so that I can just go and talk to you. So now this position that I'm in is helping families just like you. Do I wish that it was in place in 2017? Absolutely. But it's here now. And if and when you're not able to contact them, I am liaison.
We know, as we found out right from the beginning, and I'm proud of so much of the interactions that happened with you, because it was your willingness to place those calls and make those calls to me. It was your tenacity that gave birth to a cold case show in the first place. I wanted to let that be known, that this happened. This platform was created because of your unceasing desire to not just let the page be turned on the life of your son. So thank you for that. While I have you here, while we have this platform, this moment being created, right now we know that there are individuals watching. There may be individuals watching that were, York's only but so big. It's 5 square miles and 50,000 people. So the likelihood that somebody watching right now was somebody that may have heard about this case, may have been looking outside their own window, heck, may have been the individuals that were actually involved. What do you have to say? Like I said, we wanted to be held accountable as the system. What do you have to say to the community?
But I grew up here, born, raised, left when I was 17, straight out of high school to serve in the military. New York to me has always been small, not very big city. I always felt like everybody knew everybody. If you didn't know someone who was much younger than you, you definitely knew the family. If you didn't know that generation, you could go back and say, oh, I know your grandma, I know your granddad. It's always like that since I was growing up. I heard it all my life. I know your dad. I know your So I know this community, we can stick together. We don't, and please, like, whatever little bit, just a little bit, you just need that little bit of courage. People are afraid.
Yeah.
People have been afraid, but you don't have to be afraid. Think about the good that you could do to conquer that little evil that turned off the lights from my son. You never know. It happened to you. This is something that I thought would never happen to me. But I happen to know off the top of my head 5 women, mothers, Black mothers, that lost sons. And it's amazing to me. It's just so amazing. I know all of them personally, not just because I'm from New York. I mean, we just all know each other. And just think about it. Sit back. You see this, if you're watching it, just think about it. How would you feel? How do you think it would affect you if something like this would happen to you? Not just your son, but your child, your daughter, your granddaughter, your grandson. This is a tragedy that we all talk about turning back time. You can't turn back time. We know that can't be done. But going forward and looking at the future, someone out there can make a difference. Even if you think you can't, you can. Just having the courage. We have so many opportunities to call in, tip, anonymous, or if there's someone who you know who you can tell something to, just
Get the information out there.
Yes. You might not be able to put that weight on your back and come forward. But if you know someone you can confide in, someone who's a mentor, someone just taking that step forward, be a world of good. You just have no idea how much of a difference that will make.
And now with all these outlets, tell Baez, people know Baez, he's from here. Tell Tiff, call Tiff. We didn't have a Tiff before, but now you can call Tiff and get whatever that information is to you. I mean, we've watched you work. They can call you. You're always available. It's just important that whatever that lead is, whatever that information, whatever that theory is, just get it out. Get it out and share it with us. Because there's a mom on the other side that's still waiting.
Mm-hmm. It's the I used to want to know why. Why? 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 Yeah. Why? Well, why not? Why me? That's irrelevant. It really is. Anything can happen to any one of us. But I never questioned what happened. I never questioned to the point where I felt like I was done wrong by God. Never. There's when I think about the mothers that I know personally, these are just mothers I know personally and what they go through and what they struggle with. I've always tried to be the door because we're not in the same place. I've always tried to be that mother. Oh, no, again, don't go in that hole. Always. And I don't want anybody to feel this pain.
So y'all are actually staying in contact like that, almost like a support group. Wow.
The ones that who I can't get to, I will get the message to the other one. Hey, tell her this, tell her that, because I have closer connections with some of them, and then they might have closer connections to the other ones. It's just it's just that tree with the branches.
You are so strong. You can feel it on you. You can see it on you.
Wow.
The fact that you've been willing to take your pain and try to be there, turn that into something that's allowing you to be there for other moms, other people that are going through situations like this. Man.
I think sometimes the community, just listening to you, and it's just been heavy on my heart since I've been sitting here. We have these people that commit these acts of violence, and in that moment, I'm assuming that they believe that the person deserves it. But what I'm saying to the community or the person who did this is, you may have felt like that, but you didn't deserve it. And because the mothers didn't deserve it, is why I believe more so, you're not snitching. You're helping to heal. You're helping to make a difference. You're able and you're allowed to feel how you felt, because clearly you felt like that when you did it. You felt how you felt when you did it. But what you didn't think about, it was the mother and the wife and the kids and the community. The lasting effects that you pulling that trigger, what is done. So I pray and I hope that this piece right here gives you guys the courage to give some information. Give the information to the detectives, to the mother, to myself, to anybody. But we got to close this chapter. And if you don't want to close it for Jamere, you close it for his mother. You close it for his wife. You close it for his kids.
Absolutely.
There you have it. As always, we say, Jamere Cherry, we remember you. I am proud personally of you for being here, for coming here with us today to support this initiative, to stand up for your son, for your baby boy. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Please call us. Please watch. Tune in for every episode. Watch the next one. Pay attention. Be part of the solution. Let's heal our families. Let's heal our community, because as his mother said, it could have been you. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again later with the Remember Me Project.